So how did you and David meet?
Oh, that's a great story. It's kind of long though. Can I get into it?
Yeah, the 2-minute version if you want.
All right. So as you know, I entered these competitions. Well, one came through about a TV show that was called Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch. And you fly out on your own nickel to California. So this was after Steve Harvey. This is my second trip to California. You get on the elevator, you got 60 seconds to give the pitch. And the judges at the top, if they like it, they give you thumbs up and they open the doors and let you finish your pitch. If they don't like it, they give you a thumbs down. And so I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to present this to make sure I win? So I thought, okay, it's a show. Let me create some intrigue. So I had all my faucets on shelves and they were all covered up as a rolling shelf on the elevator. And I had one in my hand in a bag, and I did not show them, the judges, the faucet. And I told them, we reinvented the faucet. It's awesome. It's patented. We just won the Best of KBIZ People's Choice Award the month prior. And we're at the end zone. We're ready to cross the goal line. And with your help, we'll get there. Well, next thing you know, my elevator's going back down. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't even get the door open to go finish my pitch. What happened, right? And, you fly home and you're feeling really dejected and you think, why did God put this obstacle in my life? Why did it happen? Why did I spend $2,000 that I don't have enough of, right, for this thing, right? Well, sometimes stuff like that happens in your life for a reason. You don't realize it, that the reason hadn't come known yet. Because what happened was 2 weeks later, that show aired on YouTube. And there's a lady from the Richmond District SBA named Marcy Posey. My wife's company's Reed Integration, and she and I had worked with Marcy back in 2015 for a bit. So Marcy knew me. She happened to see that show. And she called a friend of hers named Ben. Now, her and Ben rode the school bus together 45 years ago. Her mom drove it. And she goes, Ben, you got to meet Steve Waddell. So she gave Ben my contact info. And Ben calls me up and says, Ben, hey, Steve, I hear you got this great product. Tell me about it. So I tell him, and he goes, would you like an introduction to my investor partner in Minnesota? I said, absolutely. So the week later, I have this call, and it's with Dave and the investors from Minnesota. Dave was working with them at the time. And the call went great. And they said, you know what, if we're going to go any further, we think you need to come to Minnesota. So that early August of 2018, I flew to Minnesota and at the Mall of America, which is a cool place, and I stayed at the JW Marriott so I could find the general manager and show him our faucets and do a little marketing while I was there. And then we met the investor. I met Dave, and happened to be Dave's birthday. They had a little birthday cake going for him. And we just had a great time. And within the next 3 months, by December of that year, they made a major investment in Nasoni for 25% of the company. And from there, all of last year, we went to bringing the product to market, which was great. Oh, and by the way, Dave wrapped up his work with them probably around March or April of last year. And then I reached out to Dave and said, hey, man, I'd like to come to work with Nasoni. And that's how we're here today.
Yeah.
Got it. Dave, is that the way it went down? Or
Yeah, it was. And some of the fun of this is, I mean, you know Steve as a character and his character. And we're up there. We're in my conference room. I have a small advisory business, sort of a niche at that time. Ron and his wife, high net worth individuals that had most of their wealth concentrated in Apple stock. And the goal was to create a small family office and diversify their wealth across a number of investments, early stage, cool stuff. And so Ron is here, and Steve has the mock-up faucet. We go out to the patio in my office, we hook it up, we turn it on, and we flick the switch, and out comes the stream from the fountain. And Ron was blown away. And ever since then, he's always said, you just have to experience this to see how cool it is. But it was at that time that I knew that here's a serious, successful business person who immediately got it and wanted it. And then the path to go from there, all of the process of, going through all the paperwork that's involved, it's a long and involved process. But Ron was so excited about this that he just accelerated it. He stayed with it, and he's on the board, of course. And
he got it installed in his house.
Yeah, he got them installed in his house. And so I think that whole early on in introduction, as Steve says, people come into your lives for reasons that you don't really understand at the time. And as you get to see, who they are, and what they're trying to do, it's either really captivating or it isn't. And in this case, both Steve, and Becky, and the invention and Ron's excitement was like, okay, this is a kind of a perfect combination here. And so I finished the work with Ron and his wife, and he's got 7 companies now that he's all running. And so then, as Steve said, I had some time on my hands, and he said, Dave, you know me, you know the product, you know what I'm trying to do, you got some good experience, why don't you come on over? And so it was a kind of that offer I couldn't refuse.
So
didn't want to. I could refuse it. I didn't want to refuse it.
Well, I think there's probably people watching that don't want to refuse it either. Where can people buy the product now?
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple locations. One is Nasoni.com, Nasoni, just like it says. Let's see if you can read. Oops, I'll turn the wrong way. It says on my shirt, Nasoni.com.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, you can go on Amazon. So we joined when COVID hit. Our go-to-market strategy had been to use commission-based sales reps, manufacturer reps. We have Delco Sales in California, Champions Marketing in Florida, Champions Marketing in Texas, Ben Franklin in Florida, Virginia, Maryland Associates in Virginia. But because of COVID, we sent them pallets of faucets and filters back in January, February timeframe. COVID then hits, and they can't meet with anybody. So probably around May, we got together with a board and we said, what are we going to do? What's our new strategy? Let's add e-commerce channels. And we learned that over 60% of product searches are now done on Amazon instead of Google. So it says, okay, you got to be on Amazon. So I researched Amazon before I jumped in. I always like to try to do my homework. And I learned of a program called Amazon Launchpad. Now, Amazon Launchpad is about, offering new products to the market and offering benefits to those startups that are trying to do this. So, for example, if you understand Amazon's product page, there's a thing called enhanced brand content, which is where you get to add more pictures and stuff like that of the product. Well, with Launchpad, you get what's called premium enhanced brand content. So I can add video and all kinds of stuff like that. If you go to Amazon.com/Nasoni, you come to our store on Amazon. It's really cool. Click on one of the products there, take you to the product page, look at the video we have on there. There's just everything. So they're really cool product pages that, again, I didn't know any of this was possible. I'd shopped on Amazon for many, many years, but never knew we could put this much detail on our product pages. So that's the 2 places there, Nasoni.com and Amazon right now, and then the manufacturer reps.